Hi bitches, what's good? It's Janae. I'm back with another video, and in today's video, I wanted to discuss what, in my opinion, seems to be the biggest problem on the left. Now, I am a relatively new leftist. I have not been a leftist all that long, probably for maybe the past 6 or a little bit more than that. So let's say a little bit over half a year, but I don't think I've identified as a leftist for even a whole year. I've always said that my politics are left-leaning, but I never fully was all that political, so I never identified as a leftist. And also, from the outside looking in, I saw things that made me want to not say I'm a full-on leftist. So I would just say I'm very left-leaning, especially socially. So what I wanted to do today is talk about some things I've noticed in that time of being a leftist. And I think the biggest issue that we see as leftists that the Republicans don't seem to have as much of an issue with is infighting and Wokescolds. And the infighting mainly is a result of all these Wokescolds. So I wanted to start this video by giving some definitions for y'all right here. Alright, so infighting. Infighting is a hidden conflict or competitiveness within an organization. And then the other definition I have is Wokescold. A person who is woke and scolds others who are not. That's the noun. And then we have the verb version. The act of scolding in the name of wokeness. Be careful when you talk around feminists, liberals, or anyone in the DSA to avoid experiencing the wrath of a Wokescold. So, as leftists and being in the leftist community, we have all experienced some sort of situation with a Wokescold. These are very unpleasant experiences, especially being a leftist, because it's we have the same goals, we have the same general idea of what the fuck we want, but these people want to critique you on every little issue, and it's really not productive for achieving anything. So last night I was watching this video by Vash. It's called Entitled Freshman Tries to Cancel Professor Over Nothing. It's a really good video. If you should give it a watch. It's about a freshman college student who is in fact a Wokescold, and they are criticizing their professor on Twitter because they are white and they are being the professor of a queer studies, right? And they think that they can't or whatever because it's a white man doing queer studies. And so then they basically emailed their professor, and we don't know exactly what they said, but the professor emailed them back in a very polite, respectful manner, and they had a whole fit. It was a whole situation. So go and watch it, because this leans into a lot of what I'm talking about. And actually, by the way, in the next month or so, I am gonna be doing streaming content, kind of like how Vash and Xander Hall and Destiny do that sort of content. So if you like that, definitely subscribe and hit the bell, because when I do get my PC in the mail, I'm gonna be letting y'all know the exact date that I'm gonna start doing that streaming. But anyway, I wanted to get into my first little topic here of why we're seeing this situation happen. And the first reason I believe we see this is because there's a lot of people in this world, in every group, every creed, every organization, whatever you want to call it, that they don't actually know what they want. And now, knowing what you want is essential to having good optics and good discourse. If you don't know what you want, you're going to behave in a way that is not beneficial to any common goal. So there's a lot of people that just want to cling onto identity. And we see this with Wokescolds on the left. They just want to cling on, and this is their whole identity, that they're a leftist and they're a socialist, a Marxist, whatever it may be. They're, a communist. That is just the whole identity, and that is always negative, because we always need something to be working toward. You can't just have this as your identity. People like this, no matter what group they're in, they will always be Wokescold reactionaries. Literally, if you think about it, if you do not have a clear idea of why you're doing what you're doing and what you want to do, you're gonna end up just critiquing every little thing. And I wanted to lead into something else, and that is the fact that the Republican Party, the right, whatever you want to call it, conservatives, they seem to have a much better idea of exactly what it is that they want and what they're trying to do, and they're more uniformed and united in that sense. We just seem to be a little all over the place, right? We need to be more together because we need a group of people pushing for an idea that understands that not everyone's perfect, you know? And the people that already have the right idea, we need to not fucking talk shit to them or like critique them on everything. If you have an issue with something and it's a valid reason to have an issue and you're talking to a leftist, you can literally just talk to them in a way that's going to get them to listen or get them to understand. All this fucking shouting and bickering is so counterproductive. It doesn't do any good for us as leftists and achieving our goals of of market socialism or whatever it is that we want as leftists. So one of the key things that we need if we're going to be in power in the United States is we have to win the culture war. And this is not going to happen when the outside looking in is afraid to come in because they think they're going to be canceled or Wokescolded, or they just see a bunch of leftists nonsensically fighting about the dumbest little things. Like, if it's important, fucking call people out and fight over it. If it's a minute little issue, don't fucking do it because it doesn't further what we're trying to do. We need to win the culture war. Y'all gotta understand, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than your little fucking identity and feeling good about yourself. This is this is our life, right? We're in the middle of a fascist regime. Trump and the RNC fucking they are literally spewing propaganda. It's absolutely insane, the shit that they're saying at the convention. I don't know if you've been watching any of this, but it's literal propaganda. They're hoisting Trump up as like this savior figure, and then they're acting like the left can't do anything. Right? We got to unite. We have to win the culture war. We have to look good. The infighting needs to stop. The Wokescolds need to fucking go away. If you're using leftists as a fucking identity, you need to go the fuck away. Because I'm here for a mission. I'm here because I want something better in this country. And I understand why I identify as a leftist. Anyways, I hope this opens a productive conversation. And peace out, bitches. Have a great day.